Good morning, friends. Today is a great day. It is a 2-for-1 day. We left you in our last video at Yosemite National Park, and since then we've driven south, and today we're going to be exploring Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park. The great thing about these parks is they're actually adjoined, so we're going to be starting in Kings Canyon. We're going to see all the cool spots there to see there, and then we're going to head south to Sequoia and check out all the spots there. So let our days begin. Let's go. We just entered through the big stump entrance for Kings Canyon, and one of the first things you can do within less than a mile of entering is stop at the big Stump Trail. There's a nice parking lot, and what we're going to do is we're going to hike down to where this is the grove where the original sequoias were actually cut down before this became a national park, and is part of why Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Parks actually even exist. So in the 1890s, people realized that if they were left to their own accord, we would just cut down all these incredible trees. And so they created an act in Congress to make this a national park. And since then, this has been a protected area where the sequoias couldn't be cut down, and why they've been able to continue to grow the way they have. So we're going to head down and we're going to take a look. We've heard you can actually climb on the stumps and get a sense of how big these trees were. So let's go down on the trail.
Fireplace, do you know how? Piles of paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world out? Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me. Take my hand and lead even when I disagree. Oh, how I love when it rains out.
So we've walked through most of the grove now, and I think the thing that sits with me the most is honestly, it's kind of sad. While I appreciate that these were cut down 130 years ago, it took an act of Congress to stop people from cutting down this very limited and incredibly impressive resource. And it just sort of sits with me that we're in a somewhat similar place today, that when left to our own accord, we're pretty destructive beings on this planet. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see these trees.
And it's okay to slow the ride. Discover books I forget about. But who care for the world now? Rest with me.
We've made it to Grant Tree. There's a little loop here that we're going to be able to walk around and see a lot of the really big sequoias, particularly Grant's Tree. This is a fairly small parking lot, despite how big it looks like when you pull in, so keep that in mind. There's actually just a 1-mile little hike you can do from the main parking lot up at the village, so it might be worth parking up there if it's a little bit busier and coming down that way. So let's go check out this tree.
Close the curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me. Take my hand and lead even when I disagree.
We've made it to the main attraction, which is Grant's Tree, and this tree is 1,700 years old, give or take a little bit. It is 268 feet tall and 40 feet wide, so it is really big. It is a stunning tree. They've actually put a fence around it so that you can't walk right up to it. I'm sure people would try to climb on it if they didn't, but it's really just this magical tree in the middle of the forest, and it's really cool to see.
Close the curtain, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me. Oh, and take my hand and lead even when I disagree. Rest with
Gammons Cabin, and this was built in 1872 by the original men who claimed this area to be farmed for trees. And it actually was the original ranger station as well in the early 1900s after this became a national park. And it's pretty impressive that this building is still standing. It looks in incredible condition. The fireplace is still here. And with the exception of there being no doors, it's like somebody built this not that long ago. So pretty impressive and really cool to see.
Let go, rain. It's not your song to sing no more. Goodbye, blame. Weights can't lift you up, but you can find a way to drop them. Can you feel the wind? Say you do, it's how it all begins. Then comes reason, then purpose. Well, you will find your way. In the meantime, may the sun bless you with its rays. It's how we learn. It has to hurt, it has to hurt. Every single turn.
We're at the last stop along the Grant Tree Loop, which is the fallen Monarch. The most interesting thing about this tree is that you can actually walk all the way through. It's hollow on the inside. And the second most interesting thing is that this tree actually fell in the late 1800s. There's actually a photo of early pioneers in this area sitting in front of this tree from 1900, and it looks almost identical. So we're gonna walk through.
Don't beg your pardon. You're not someone's victim. It has to hurt. It has to hurt. Spring, how it is when the buds are bursting. You can watch the birds when they fly across the world. Weights can't lift you up, you can find a way to drop them. When the new ones
We stopped off at the Grant Grove Village Visitor Center. We always like to come to visitor centers anytime that we're at a national park so that we can talk to the rangers and see if they have any suggestions on places to go or maybe an attraction to see that we just don't know about. And although we do a good amount of research before we come for a visit, they always know the hidden little gems that are often left off online or aren't in books. So we're gonna hop in, have a look around, and talk to one of the rangers.
you'll be on top of them. Don't mind the falls, break down when it burns, please. Don't be concerned, 'cause it's how we learn. It has to hurt, it has to hurt. Every single turn, don't beg your pardon. You're not someone's victim. It has to hurt, just has to hurt. It's how we learn. Don't be concerned, it has to hurt. Yes, every single turn.
We're driving along the General's Highway now, which is the road that runs between Kings Canyon and Sequoia. And we've come to our last stop in Kings Canyon, which is the Kings Canyon Overlook. It's one of the few places that you can actually have a really good view of the canyon itself. And then we're gonna head down into Sequoia.
Don't beg your pardon, you're not someone's victim. It has to hurt, it has to hurt.
Kings Canyon has Grant and Sequoia has Sherman. So we've driven down a very long, windy road and we've come to the beginning of the Sherman Tree Trail. We're gonna head down and check it out. Colonel Sherman's tree, and it is darn impressive. We know some interesting facts about this tree. It is the largest tree on Earth. It is not the oldest. It's not even the oldest in this park. It's not the tallest. It's only 265 feet tall, but it has 52,000 cubic feet of volume, which is the largest on Earth. So I think that's pretty impressive, but the thing that I actually thought that was the most interesting is that at the base of its circumference, it's 103 feet around. That is crazy. That is so big. And the funny thing is, it is surrounded by other huge trees that if those trees were anywhere else, you'd be pretty darn impressed with them. It's just because it's in the shadow of this great tree.
I set out on a road that I built with my own two hands. I met friends on the way, people chosen to make a stand. I felt strong in the sun as I walked onto pastures green. Saw forgiveness together as phases in.
We've saved the absolute best thing for the last part of the day. As it's starting to sunset, we've come to Mora Rock. We're gonna climb up and show you what we mean.
And I'll turn every wrong to right. Baby, we're children of summer, we're meant to be free. Hearted, we're not like the others, no reason to be. My ventures, they brought me to places I've never been. But you can walk through this world without a few punches upon your chin. I think I lost you somewhere between 20 and 23. But I still hold you dear despite the heartbreak you caused in me. 'Cause you were with me through my nights, and you filled the darkness with shining lights, yeah. Baby, we're children of summer, we're meant to be free. Honey, we're not like the others, no reason to be. Laden is far in our lungs, so it's too hard to breathe. Lover, I live for the day you and I turn to we. I still think of you now, though my memories turning bleak. I'm still walking this road on my knees, they are ever so weak. I never thanked you for putting your faith on a bum like me. Yeah.
That's a wrap for us from Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Parks. We've loved coming here. We know this is not one of the most visited places, but with a view like this behind us, how could you not want to come here and check this out? We've loved traveling through these two parks today, and we can't wait for where we're off to next. So join us next week. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe so you can come along for the rest of our California journey and beyond.